overall, I enjoyed the roast.
Okay.
But I think that one thing that we always have to remember about all of these situations is people have the right to laugh. People also have the right to be offended. Like the thing,
everybody has the right to do whatever they want.
The things that it's art, right? So when you put art out into the world,
you got the right to react to whatever you want,
however you want. And I think it's also very important to understand that what you find funny or what is a joke to you is also some people's trigger.
Yeah, like you can't believe in freedom of speech and then be like, you're not allowed to speak badly against the art that you just watched.
No. And listen, I'm cool with. I like dark humor, right? But what I just don't understand the joking about death, especially violent, tragic deaths. I don't understand that. What's funny about that shit?
Well. Sometimes it's very funny.
It depends, right? Like, if you're joking on historical stuff, right? Like something that happened.
Let me tell you,
80 years ago.
An example: Pearl Harbor, right?
Okay.
When the Japanese flew those planes into Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
Right. Now, a lot of people assumed it was a kamikaze mission. I think that they were actually trying to land.
Okay. The reason that joke is, I'm gonna tell you why that's actually a joke.
Why is it a joke?
Because
it's a joke.
It's a joke that actually lands. And it lands.
I see what you did there. It lands because why?
No. Number one, it's old. I'm sure there are people that'll be offended, but there's nobody. I don't think there's anybody left to be offended.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. How long ago was that?
Somebody's grandpa found out there was no landing gear.
You see? But you're not naming a specific person. You're not individualizing it, right?
Well, look, like I don't even think you need.
1940.
I don't think you need to.
What's the saying? Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Again, I don't even think you need to explain the circumstance for it. Like, if you felt a way about something, that's totally fine.
Yes.
And then what I would say about the roast specifically is like, I think what has happened is like it's populated social media. So a lot of people are just scrolling and they're looking at, random stuff on their feed. They're looking at a funny cat video, a stupid AI slop video, something else. And then all of a sudden, the most racist joke ever pops up on their feed. Yeah. When you subscribe to the roast, like when you go, I'm going to watch the roast, and you understand like what a roast is, your brain is conforming to the standards of the roast a little more. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine people who are like, I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to hear the darkest fucking jokes ever about everybody, and everybody has equal ground and everybody's going to be able to say whatever they want. I imagine like you're a little bit more prepared to be offended than when you're just randomly scrolling something and you see like, really crazy offensive jokes.
Listen, the sexist jokes, the racist jokes, like you can debate that all day. I just don't understand why people want to joke on somebody's dead relative. I don't care if it's George Floyd, Charlie Kirk, Cheryl Underwood's husband who committed suicide, Pete Davidson's dad who died in 9/11. Why?
You're allowed to think that. Like that, the way Mark put this, that's I think on Flagrant. It's like there's a different expectation for jokes depending the scenario you're in. So if you're at work, not like this kind of job, but if you're at a regular job, and this is Mark's point, so I want to give him credit for it, but it's like you don't expect to hear fucked up jokes. Maybe some little like water cooler talk, but nothing that crazy is going to make people feel uncomfortable. And if somebody does bust a kind of crazy joke, it's either that much more hilarious or that much more offensive given the setting that you're in. A roast is a very specific thing where like everybody goes, hey, the most vile, offensive, heinous things are going to be said right here. And that is what most people assume going into it. Definitely everybody on the panel knew that that's possible, that they could say those things. So like, even though their feelings might have been hurt, they knew going into the game. It's like when you agree to play like, football, it's like you could get hit. You could get hit in a way that completely changes you.
But there's got to be some parameters, right? I'm sure there's people up there who had things like, all right, man, I don't want to.
So my rules are like, with Brady, I don't touch the kids. No, I don't fuck with the kids at all because like they didn't ask to be part of this. And I don't talk about wives unless they have chosen to be public figures. So like
it was actually the roast of Giselle though.
Yeah, but she's a public figure. Like she is chosen.
And she was pissed. She hated the shit.
Should have stayed married. I don't know what to tell you. Should have cheated on your man with a fucking karate instructor. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to get around it.
Yeah. But by the way, to me, that's fair game. And here's the thing. I just don't understand why people want to joke on death, because I come from the era of, even if you was making your mama jokes or your daddy jokes, as soon as the person be like, man, my mama dead, oh, you'd be like, oh, my bad. Like, you knew that's where you stopped.
Would you stop there?
Yes. Because now you got to fight. Unless you want to, by the way, I don't have to stop there, but if you keep going, you got to be ready to throw hands. If I trigger this person enough where this motherfucker told me that his mama dead or his daddy dead, and I'm still making jokes.
Has anybody on the roast said that they're offended by jokes, or is it people that are watching the roast that are saying they're offended?
But that's my point.
Yeah.
If like you said, if you're part of the roast, you know what the rules are. Everything is fair game. We've heard Pete Davidson make jokes about his father dying in 9/11.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure Cheryl Underwood has probably made jokes about her husband, committing suicide. Sure. Kevin Hart's, father died. People were making jokes about him. I actually thought Regina Hall's jokes, where she was acting like she was channeling Kevin Hart's dead mom, was hilarious. To me, one of the funniest jokes of the night when she was talking about how Kevin's mom, God bless the dead, was having sex with Michael Clark Duncan in heaven. She's like, she was like, yes, they run trains in heaven. And then she's like, oh, not that heaven? Because his daughter's name is Heaven. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, wow, I didn't catch it.
That's my point. But that's one of them double entendres. I find that funny. But man, I don't find anything funny about a violent, tragic death. Somebody getting choked out by the police, somebody getting shot in the neck. Once again, I don't even like the Pete and Cheryl shit, but they're part of the roast.
And I'm sure
George Floyd and Charlie Kirk had nothing to do with this roast.
I'm sure if they said to the other comedians, they're like, hey, this is a really sensitive topic for me. Can you guys not talk about it? I can almost guarantee that all the other comedians there would be like, dude, I don't even care that much about that thing that happened to you. Like, if you don't want to do that, then we won't do it. So usually, that was the thing about the Tom thing. The thing about the Tom thing was like, don't talk about his kids. And then there was one moment when Jeff Ross made a joke about Bob Kraft.
Oh, and Tom got mad.
And Tom walked up to him during the roast and said, hey, man, keep his name out of your fucking mouth, or something like that.
And like, for real, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of funny that we made a bunch of Giselle jokes, and he was like, yo, keep that shit coming, bro.
There's a statement going on online. I don't know if it's true, from Tom Brady. You seen that statement? Is that real?
Hilarious. Yes.
Is that real?
Probably. I hope so.
Oh, let me see.
Sometimes you just want it to be real.
Oh, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's like, I can't believe you let people talk about your ex-wife. It's like, listen,
$25 million.
If somebody paid you $20 million to make fun of your ex-wife who cheated on you with a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor, you would take it too, or something like that. Yeah.
If I can find this shit. This shit is so funny.
The way you look at it is like this. Like, when you see people fighting in the UFC, it's some crazy shit. You see somebody like elbowing an unconscious guy in the face and just splitting his forehead open, blood dripping everywhere. But you go into that event going, I'm going to see some crazy stuff. It doesn't mean that you can't still see it and be like, oh, this is brutal. And there are a lot of people that watch it. Like, my dad could never watch UFC, huge boxing fan. But UFC, he'd be like, this is just a little bit too brutal for me, right? But you go into it expecting that thing. If you see a street fight where a dude's just pummeling somebody's fucking head, it's like, you were just trying to walk home. So that's going to be way more like, I don't want to watch this, and this is fucked up. So I think the environment of the roast is the most extreme version of offensive jokes. Even on stage at a stand-up comedy club is less extreme than a roast environment.
Why is violent, tragic death a joke? Like,
it's the thing you're not supposed to say.
It's the most taboo.
But where's the funny? Like, I'll give you an example, right?
It's on the comedian to make it funny.
I just don't see how there have to be funny premises. There's nothing funny about somebody getting shot in the neck. There's nothing funny about somebody getting choked out for 9 minutes. Like, I'll give you an example. And I'm not even going to say no names, but let's just say you're a relationship expert. You're a social media relationship expert, right? And you're always constantly giving advice about, relationships and blah, 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 men and women, who's got value, who doesn't have value. But the rumor is you died having sex with a prostitute taking dick pills. There's a lot of premises there that could actually that jokes could be made of. Somebody just getting shot in the neck of the speech, somebody getting choked out by the police. Like, why?
The why is, how do we make the most unfunny, tragic thing funny? And that's the difficult task. And it's a very difficult task because so many people probably have the sentiment you have. But if you're able to make this heinous thing funny, it's super high level difficulty. It's like diving in the Olympics. You get scored based on your form, but also based on how difficult the dive is, or even gymnastics. It's not just how you execute it, it's how difficult the trick is you need to execute it. So it doesn't mean that just doing the joke makes it funny. Clearly to you, it wasn't, but like to other people, maybe it was. And maybe the perfect joke about that tragic thing is executed in such a brilliant fucking way, it even gets a tickle out of you. And that's the dice roll you take as a comedian or anybody who's being part of a roast.
It's a hell of a dice roll when you're making jokes about people who literally this just happened to. So you got family members that are still grieving, loved ones that are still grieving. So imagine you just want to watch the roast because you're a fan of Kevin Hart and you see somebody make that joke about your dad or your husband, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I made a joke about Kev's dad.
But Kev's dad is fair game.
Right.
Not only has Kev made jokes about his dad, Kev's a part of the roast.
Oh, you're saying using people that aren't
the Floyd family's not a part of the roast. The Kirk family's not a part of the roast. And the joke ends up being about them. Like
instead of that person.
The joke Tony Hinchcliffe made ended up being about George. It wasn't about Kev.
And then Pete had that joke about like
unloading in your throat or something like that.
That was funny though.
I didn't find it amusing.
Well, the joke was about Tony. It wasn't about Charlie.
It was, but I just don't like making jokes about violent, tragic deaths that are so fresh.
Bro, you've made so many wild jokes.
Not about death. I don't play about death like that.
Yeah, but like other topics that are really different.
I'm with you. I don't listen. I'm not in here defending any topic except for death.
A week ago.
What was it? Give me to it.
It was so funny, bro. I think I even sent it to you. There's a guy on Breakfast Club who's like, I was molested when I was 14. And then you were like, yo, me too. It was like you were bonding with him. And he was like, yeah, it was an older boy in the neighborhood. And then you couldn't help yourself and be like, well, mine was a...
But it wasn't a joke. I just had to clear the record. That was not a joke.
The joke is you didn't want nobody to think that
I got molested by a guy.
That's the joke.
Why is that a joke?
Because that's the joke. The joke is that why would it be any different?
Yeah.
It is different. It is different.
Why?
It just is. A man touching a little boy is different.
Why?
It just is.
Why?
Because it's a man.
But why?
Because it's a lot more layers that come with that type of trauma. Because when you talk to a lot of
these guys, woman has more layers.
Because a lot of these guys, after they get touched by men, they start questioning their sexuality.
Right.
And they have to live with that throughout life. That's why if you continue to watch the interview, I even asked them, did you ever question your sexuality?
Right.
Because that's usually what happens when a guy gets touched by a guy.
So then having a woman do it confirm your sexuality?
If I depend, I got bricked up. You know what I'm saying? I think about now, if I could do it again.
She was related to you though, right?
By marriage.
But you're kind of like a Habsburg. See what I'm saying? Like it's fucked up shit, but it's just.
But it's not
jokes.
death.
I think the point that you're making is, which is kind of interesting, which is like the joke is about people that weren't there. But then again,
I just don't understand why you would want to joke. I don't like to joke about nothing I couldn't handle happening to me.
But that's your choice. I guess the question is, are you saying nobody should be able to do it, or are you just saying this is your line and what you feel?
No, they can do whatever they want. They got freedom of speech. They just got to deal with all the consequences that come with it.
Or they got to do it.
Isn't that what Pete's kind of saying in a way? Is I can handle it because you said something that wouldn't happen to you. He's like, I've already been there.
Sure,
yeah.
But once again,
I thought the joke was great.
Even though I am not the person that's going to joke on somebody's death, I have no problem with Pete, Cheryl, and Kevin. They're a part of the roast.
Right.
If they choose to make their life, fodder,
right.
Cool. I'm just talking about if you're sitting at home, why make the joke about George Floyd? Why make the joke about Charlie Kirk? For what? These people did not.
There's even like a nuance between those two cases, but
and think about how violent and sudden and tragic those situations are, bro. Like
I know, but like this is where like if you can craft the perfect bit, like this bit wasn't. These bits didn't these bits didn't make you laugh, but like if you can craft the perfect bit and it's about just the most heinous thing that ever happened, for comedians, not all comedians, some comedians, like doing like very relatable stuff and all that kind of stuff. But like there's a version where it takes a lot of skill to execute a joke that is like very delicate,
Or maybe it wasn't intended to be, which is how I interpreted it.
What do you mean?
I interpreted the Charlie Kirk joke as a double fuck you. Like a fuck you to Tony, and then within the context of a roast, but like, and also a fuck you to Charlie Kirk's legacy. Somebody who a lot of people loved.
Yeah.
And then somebody a lot of people really fucking didn't fuck with.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be fodder in my joke, deal with it.
I'm with you. I just don't want the energy of that, because the reality of the situation is the people that love him gonna love him. Same way the people that love George Floyd gonna love George Floyd.
But George Floyd never set out to be a public figure. George Floyd was caught up in an event.
Charlie
Kirk put himself out there in a very, very specific way. But I don't need you to
be a public figure to have empathy for your situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we walked out here right now and we saw some random person, get their head blown off, it'd be like, God damn, what the fuck was that about?
But tragedy, I want to be empathetic.
Because you don't want that to be you.
But tragedy plus time.
But that's, I think, what you're really saying.
What?
You're almost like worried that this energy is being put in the air and it's going to like catch you up in some sort of...
What's the thing we always say about Charlie Kirk? Whenever somebody brings up Charlie Kirk, they be like, well, Charlie died for what he believed in, right? Because didn't he make the statement about, gun casualties are just what happens when you have the right to bear arms, basically, right?
Yeah.
So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, by having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
The chicken came home to roost on this guy.
I don't want that.
I don't think, I mean, the pushback I would give on that is like, I don't think he believed in people killing one another, but
if you make a statement like that, then you have to put yourself in that equation as well.
Yeah, and I understand Chris's point too, which is like Charlie chose to be a public figure and he chose to sign up for the scrutiny that comes with that, not being shot, but the commentary about him as a personality.
Yes,
and we know that very well. There are going to be people that say amazing things about us, and there are going to be people that say horrible things about us, right? Like,
and I don't need to be a public figure. I can, right now, if the news comes in, hey man, a plane crashed on the way to such and such with 100 people in there, you'd be like,
who was flying it?
Shut up, man. but we all ride planes is what I'm saying. So
but like, there's no part of you that would like to know.
I want to know how it happened.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Not like we can prevent a plane crash if we get in a plane, but I would like to know how it happened.
Yeah,
you know
me
what I
too.
mean? And to me, it's like there's no reason to joke about that situation. I don't like joking about violent, tragic death because I know that could be any of us.
And you're allowed to have that opinion. And like somebody else's triggers might be a different thing they don't like. They might be kids, somebody else's triggers. Everybody got their own shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, I think the biggest one that got me was just any of the kid stuff. And maybe I'm a softie as like an adult, you know what I mean? But I think there was one about Draymond's kids or something like that. And I was like, whoa. And I thought Draymond handled it really well. But like...
because you love your kids. Your kids might be your thumbscrew. Your kids might be the one thing you be like, all right, bro, cool out. I don't want nobody making jokes about my kids.
Everybody has their own thing.
And that's fine.
Do you feel like this roast was the same like Brady's? I feel like this one was a bit more going for shock value over the funny.
Man, Brady's was shocking as fuck.
Brady's was shock as shit.
I think the difference for this roast, I would say, is that like Kevin is a black dude, okay? So there's probably way more black joke, and there's more black people on the dais. So there's way more racial jokes because of it. And like a roast at the end of the day does tend to like pull on tons of like stereotypes and these types of things. So like you're hearing a lot more of it by proxy of who you guys are talking about, or who the people are talking about. And there might be people on the dais that the people don't really know, the people be in the audience. So you're really pulling off of visually what you can see, and so much of a roast is visually what you can see. If you're making fun of Rob Gronkowski, shout out Rob, but like calling him retarded and doing all these other things, it's like, or the Edelman and these other guys, or like the other, who's the quarterback before Tom Brady?
Drew Bledsoe.
It's just like there's a lot of white guys that you're just making like white guy jokes. And obviously that's not going to come across as racially insensitive. Because a lot of the reaction I've seen online is like, how come all these jokes are racist? And it's like, well, you have, prominent people of color that are going to be on this day. Is when it comes to Chelsea Handler, they're not going to make fun of her being a white woman. They're going to make fun of her being a whore or make fun of her being childless.
Well, Shane made fun of her being a whore and being Zionist.
And hanging out with Epstein.
Hanging out with Epstein. Yeah. Yeah, man. How do they pick the people to be on these roles? Because that's another interesting thing. And I guess because I know Kev, so I was just like, I wanted it to be more Def Comedy Jam-ish. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of different comedians that could have been on that stage that could have roasted Kevin.
That's
like, I don't know
interesting.
where did Shane come from in Kevin Hart's world? Where did
both from Philly?
Oh, okay.
Or both from like the PA area. And I imagine like they connected.
Where did Tony Hinchcliffe come from in the Kevin Hart world? Like Naeem Lynn makes all the sense in the world, and he killed it. Regina Hall
Naeem's was fantastic.
It. Listen, everybody that actually knew Kev.
Naeem's been a hilarious comic for decades, by the way. So it's cool to see him.
By the way, very dark humor, always has.
He's been great.
People that actually knew Kev, Naeem, Regina Hall, Joey. Who else was up there that actually knew Kev? I can't think right now. But those people actually bodied it. I wanted more of that. Like, where did the Tony Hinchcliffes and all of them come into?
Well, I think Tony he's really known for this. He's a big figure. He's also big on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I think that there's that. And he's also like really good at roasting. Like,
the way they would have Greg Giraldi on every roast or
exactly.
something
Like you want to have the people that are professionals at that craft.
I would never have Tony at my shit because he's the one that always causes the problems. He's the reason that this shit is getting all the backlash.
But
Netflix probably loves that.
But he also is fucking fantastic at it. Like, objectively speaking,
I enjoyed it up until that last part because I was like, why? I was like, come on, bro.
Right.
Because you got to first of all, I don't know why you would want to make that joke, but also read the room.
He said, Chelsea Handler, you're aging like a vegetable in Lizzo's fridge.
Hilarious.
That shit.
Hilarious.
Said, Regina Hall was in the movie One Battle After Another, or as Lizzo calls stairs.
Body.
Son, just
body.
Like fucking great jokes.
And I know there's fat people out there that's like, why don't you have empathy for us, Charlamagne? I like a good fat joke. Okay?
That's not your trigger.
That's not but I'm not fat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I just death is just something we can't come back from. That's all. And by the way, the violence, the violentness of those deaths.
Yo, just you getting old, bro. That's it. You getting old.
I've never played with death.
You getting soft.
Nah, I just can't play with death like that. Especially if they're fresh.
What did you guys think? I've seen a lot of commentary around Cat Williams' bit.
I thought Cat was perfect for the roast. I think that I would have loved to see Cat and Mike Epps, come out there.
That would have been very cool too.
I wonder. Somebody said to me something very interesting though. They was like, when you listen to Cat on like Shannon Sharp show and how he talks about the industry and how he talks about those people, they was like, if Cat really believed that, he wouldn't have come out at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to be at that event?
I mean, because it's a big event and you want to,
but
be part of it.
But you're the anti-industry guy. You're the anti of the Kevin Harts and all of those people like that.
Or maybe he wanted an opportunity to just shit on this guy he don't like in front of the world.
Well, that was, I haven't seen it, but that was the commentary. It wasn't jokes. It was tense.
No, it was jokes. I saw it. It was jokes. He did a great job. I think Kev handled it beautifully.
It was jokes, but that don't mean it's not true. That don't mean he didn't find them true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That don't mean he didn't believe what he said.
There was a lot of that going on all throughout the night, though.
Yeah, there was some real shit.
That's the other thing that I be thinking about with these roasts, especially in regard to Kev, because you can't really do that with Tom Brady. But goddamn, man, when people are saying that your movie suck and, you take every opportunity and you never say no, blah, blah, blah. Kev, I don't know if you know, people really believe that shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, people take the opportunity to really say
How they
what
feel.
they feel about you under the guise of roast.
Yeah.
Which is why all of that stuff seems even more heinous, right?
Well, that's...
You understand what I'm saying, though?
I do. That's why, like, I'll be honest, I was... The one thing that was a little surprising to me, too, is, like, I thought maybe, like... I thought Kev's contemporaries, some of them would be on there. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
That's why I said I wanted it to be more Def Comedy Jam-ish.
I thought like Chris Rock.
Where was Chris Rock? Where
Dave
was Chappelle?
Chappelle, like, this was-
Duval!
Yeah, Duval. It's like,
Duval.
this is a big moment celebrating like an iconic entertainer, but like also specifically an
Nick
iconic
Cannon.
black entertainer. So there's this version where you go like, okay, well, where are the other contemporaries? And like, should they pull up for this event? In the same way that like, if Sinatra's getting roasted, his whole crew is roasting him. You know what I mean? Like Dean Martin's gonna be there, Sammy Davis Jr. is gonna be there, like the whole crew is gonna be there. Rickles is gonna be there.
And his crew was there, like you had the Plastic Cup Boys there, but that's why when Cheryl Underwood went up there, it made so much sense.
It was great.
Killed. Regina Hall killed. Naeem killed. Joey killed. Like those people, Cat Williams, even though, they didn't get along, they still were considered peers, so to speak. Right?
Yeah.
So those people body.
And then maybe that would alleviate a little bit of like some of this conversation about like the racism and the jokes. If there were more prominent black entertainers that were clowning him.
I don't know why. I do know why Shane was hosting it, because he's Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
so
he's
it made
the biggest comic right
It made
now.
sense
Like,
for Netflix, but I think at some point Netflix has to say, all right, it's the roast of Kevin Hart. So we got to trust who Kev says should be on this stage.
I would not be surprised if Kev wanted Shane to do it.
I'm sure.
I thought it was the right, I'll be honest, I thought it was the right choice also for viewership, because Shane and Kev might not have crossover in audience.
Yeah.
But if you want to bring Shane's audience, which is massive, to Kev's audience, which is massive, and now you get this beautiful cornucopia of everybody watching this thing.
I ain't with mixing the algorithms no more. Have we not learned that from Brilliant Idiots? We were so fine for
I know.
years.
And then y'all found out about
You know
us.
what I'm saying?
Why you tell your friends?
We've been over here for 13 years, millions of listeners, minding our business. As soon as our shit start getting another algorithm,
I know.
now everybody takes shit out of context,
I know.
misconstrues what we said,
We had a
misconstrues
great
who we
thing
are.
going, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
We got too famous.
Oh!
Can't get too famous, guys.
But I do agree with you. I feel like it should have been more of his contemporaries.
I think selfishly, I would like to see it.
It would have been fire.
Yeah.
I just felt like it should have been more.
Now, the question is, do people on Kev's level want to sit there and get made fun of? And I think what happens...
People on Kev's level?
Yeah, like Kev is in a very unique situation. We're talking about like one of the most famous entertainers alive, Kevin Hart is.
I mean, some people say the most successful comic ever. I saw people saying that. And it's debatable, but for me, it's
in the conversation for sure.
Kev, Eddie, Seinfeld. It's very rare air, bro.
Yeah.
Very. I'm not talking about who you think is funny. I'm just talking about success level.
Yeah, like he's had TV, movies, businesses, all these other things. It's
Very
not
rare.
just operating in the stand-up space. It's because that's why I say entertainer.
Yeah.
Because like Kev's entertainment career has been so successful. It hasn't eclipsed his stand-up. Obviously, everybody knows him as a stand-up. But like when you start doing Jumanjis, when you start doing these massive franchises that are like international, it's a very different ballgame. The question I have is like other people that are in that rare air. Eddie Murphy ain't sitting on that fucking dais for 2 hours getting made fun of by all these people who you don't know who they are.
Come on, bro. Why? Never.
You know what I mean?
Ever.
Like, so that is a tricky thing about the roast, which is like getting your colleagues to sit there and just take shots for 2.5 hours.
Live. So you can't even trust that. Even if I told you I'm not going to make a joke about this and I asked y'all not to, don't mean somebody won't slip it in. I'm just saying.
Who did that?
I'm just saying. Somebody might just put a little extra on it. You know what I mean?
That shit was hilarious, bro. I was fucking crying at that.
That's all I'm saying. I don't